All right, so this is a video. It's a documentary by Zara McDermott from the UK. She came over to check out the Idaho 4 case and discuss some of the creators that have covered the case and their contribution and their impact on the case and the impact of social media on cases. It's a very, very good documentary. I've already watched the whole thing, and now I'm just going to go through and show you some of the parts that I liked or that I wanted to comment on. I will put the link down below. Please go and watch it yourself. So let's see here. She goes through, talks about how the case blew up initially, highlights a few creators making comments, and shows a little bit about how it was surreal for her to be in Moscow, Idaho at the time, and says it's a quaint town, very lovely. And she discusses kind of her experience at walking around. And then here's where she starts talking a little bit about creators. So I'm going to skip forward to that part first.
That night.
On that same night, Kaylee and Madison were at a local bar from 10 p.m. to 1:30 a.m.
They were inside this club here.
Drinking, partying, having fun, letting loose before the holiday break.
And then they walked that way.
They got food and they went back to their house.
By 1:45, authorities say all of the students were back in their home.
And then something happened to them.
So I like how she kind of described, a little bit about social media there, how we all, jumped on there and was talking about, what little we knew at that point. She went over the alert system, the vandal alerts that went out, the cameras, the Linda Lane cameras as well. The different text messages that were going out at the time. Then she covers a little bit about right here.
It wasn't long before the true crime community got involved, and I was hooked.
Hello and welcome to True Crime Rocket Science.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Crime Circus.
This is 10 to Life.
We're going to be talking about this odd, tragic story.
Everybody's talking about it. It's on every darn news source right now.
Jonathan Lee Riches investigates 4
Okay, so I like that she highlighted JLR a lot. There's some stuff in here that she goes over with him. I thought it was kind of cute how he showed her all of his little different outfits and stuff that he wears and all of his hats and stuff. And how he was going out on the street corner and making a video. And actually got a fan of his to stop and say hi, that lady right there. Then she goes over some of the mainstream media coverage as well. And then here she plays a couple of their TikToks. And it was really sad to watch that. Now this guy comes on, and this was very emotional. So I'm going to go ahead and play this part.
Evening, Sean. Still no word on the cause of the death of the students. The scene tonight is much quieter. One police officer is watching over the house tonight. You can see his...
In the early days of the investigation, people looked to the mainstream media for information about the case.
So this is where our newsroom radio station are. Here's some of the publications that they put out. You can see here's one they did on the vigil that was held. Beautiful photo that Daniel did.
This is John Webb.
Editor-in-chief.
John covered the case for a local TV station. He was also a student and knew 2 of the victims.
You were friends with Ethan and Xana. Can you share anything about what they were like as people?
Xana was very goofy. She was funny, always making jokes at parties and stuff. And Ethan was kind of the Labrador. Everybody just loved him, and he was a sweetheart.
What was that moment like when you realized that some of the victims were people you knew?
Denial. You don't believe it when you first hear it. For a while, I couldn't even say the names on the air. It was tough. I remember being scared. We didn't have
Okay, so I'm just going to play that little bit. I want you to go watch it, okay? I'm not trying to take views from them, but is it me or does he look like a young Val Kilmer? Anyway, okay, so I'm going to go forward here. She goes over some of the other local media covering. And here.
Appears to be blood on what looks like a cabinet.
We're gonna do a little walk through the house here. Preface this, but this is not my footage. I got it off the internet.
Now, I will say how I like that she kept track of, you know, who was saying what and when. She did a really good, oh, there's Judy Ron. She covered the press conferences. And then she talks about some of the stuff that Bullhorn Betty had said. Who is this?
One another during the murders.
During a murder? The two surviving roommates, Dylan and Bethany, are forced into hiding.
Yeah, they were. God, that was terrible. Okay, so Bullhorn Betty talks about that social media is changing the game. And I do agree with that. Let's see. Okay, here's where ooh, I got a little heated. Okay, she said something that I thought was ridiculous. She claimed that social media, meaning her and her friends who were out there, remember, helped find Gabby Petito. Now, don't get me started on the planted items that were allegedly found. I'm not going to go there. I'm just going to show you what she says here.
Of a 22-year-old travel blogger, Gabby Petito.
When she vanished, people took the case into their own hands and became digital detectives, scouring social media for clues.
Had it not been for web sleuths and social media creators, Gabby Petito, in all fairness, would probably still be out there lost. That's really when the world kind of realized that web sleuths can be beneficial and can help.
Okay, yes, web sleuths can be beneficial and can help. We've all seen the series on Netflix. If you haven't, please do watch the series Don't F with Cats. That one was a really good showcase on how online sleuths absolutely did help with that case. It is crazy. So if you haven't seen it, please go see that. All right, so now we're going to go forward here. Now he talks about when he found the Grub Truck video, and he was the original person to post it. And I'm going to play that part.
Video of Kaylee and Madison actually at a popular food truck in downtown Moscow. A lot of people went there after the bars and stuff to get a bite to eat before heading home. So we posted this video of Grub Truck and their last few hours of being alive. I did not realize how far and how fast that video would spread online. Next morning I woke up, it was everywhere.
Food truck Twitch stream shows two of the victims buying tacos around 1:53 a.m., just hours before the slayings.
This food truck video could be so important to figuring out what could have happened to them.
Okay, so I didn't even realize who, I'm sure I saw it, but I didn't really realize the impact of that. So let me, okay, so right here, I think this is where, hang on.
Just a food truck, okay.
Just a food.
And I would say just was like just.
Okay, yeah. I'm going to play this little part here. I'm going to go to, because I thought this was kind of funny.
There's one guy that was unbelievably annoying, and I would say just was like just a full asshole about it.
Was he recording on his phone?
Yeah.
And doing this?
Yep.
I know who that is.
Here it is. The Grub Truck. out here, nobody's out here in downtown Moscow.
Okay.
The same grub truck.
I love those, but she's like, I know who that is. So it shows him going up there and asking some questions, and he said JLR didn't really ask anything that was beneficial to the case at all. And then it goes forward to her asking him about it. And he said basically the following. Like, why do you put this stuff out there on neighbors and people who the police have already cleared, things like that? And this was his response.
You're going to have YouTubers and social media on you. I throw names around that could be possibly involved or asked. Boyfriends of the victims, fraternity members, sorority girls, neighbors, community members, registered sex offenders, because maybe you can gaslight these people to come out and share where they were really at so we can cross them off the list.
Sometimes, though, this is, these are people that law enforcement have ruled out. So why is the focus still on them?
Well, law enforcement might say they ruled somebody out, but they don't give any details. If you're accused of something, you need to come out and just inform the public, hey, I'm not involved, this is where I was, to prove it. We're not going to stop until we find out. If they don't want to give us the information, we'll find out ourselves.
Do you think that people staying silent makes them seem suspicious?
I do, especially if they stay silent and start locking down their social media accounts. And I think it's important for them to come out and talk. When they don't, it gets very, very bad in cyberspace with everyone digging in their background, their family's background, their friends.
Can you see it from a side of they may just want privacy at this time?
They could, but maybe a family member of them or a spokesperson for them could come forward and say that might alleviate that suspicion more.
Yeah, you're probably thinking what I'm thinking. And yes, we were all doing a hell of a lot of speculating, before Bryan Kohberger was arrested. We all wanted to know who it could possibly be. Everybody was looking at Hoodie Guy, Everybody was looking at Joe from the grub truck. I get it. But people did go too far with that and, naming, frat boys and sorority sisters and neighbors, naming them, putting out their full information and blaming them when it's not our place to do any of that. It is just not our place to go that far and publicly name somebody. So there was Donna Ceferino. She sits down with that guy there. There was some more social media people. I don't know what this one was. Hang on, I don't remember. Okay. Anna Elise. Some of these I recognize, some of them I don't. There's a lot of TikTokers on here. And that was mainly her goal in this, is pointing out when people were, blaming people. Like, why blame Kopacka? I still don't get it. I still do not get. The only connection in the Idaho 4 case and Brent Kopacka is the fact that when Brian and his dad got pulled over, Brian's dad said, oh yeah, we just left there. We're concerned because there was just that, incident in Pullman, the guy that barricaded himself in and got shot, that's the only, there's no actual connection. I haven't seen one. If you know of an actual full receipt connection, please send it to me. I don't know what this was. So there's all these sleuths talking.
Destiny claimed that she knew two of the victims.
I used to work up there, and that's how I met Maddie and Kaylee. And every time I was there, I saw Kaylee and Maddie. And
she has since admitted that she had never met Kaylee.
The point is that I have ties to that community because my grandson lived right near the murder scene. I have a really close friend. Her daughter is a neighbor of theirs.
Yeah, that reminds me of the Kim WSU Mom and Dot and all the other wackadoos that inserted themselves. I don't even know who that is. Who is that lady? I don't even know who she is. I think it identified her, but I don't know. And then right here, I'm going to play this end part. And then again, the link will be in the description for you to watch.
I was scrolling through my social media, watching so much content day after day about the case. And I think I've really seen the impact that content has had on the community. I'm not saying I judge the online sleuths because I understand what it's like to feel validated on social media, but they are exploiting a situation for views, even though they may see it very differently. At the same time, without people like me watching the content, looking online, waiting for the next video to be uploaded, and the next theory and the next suspect, there wouldn't be a demand for it. You can't blame them for continually posting it as long as there's people like me watching it.
Exactly. Yeah. And there was one part where she said that JLR, puts up like 8 videos a day on the Idaho 4 case. And, people tend to have that insatiable need for the next video, the next rumor, the next little nugget of whatever, and, I don't have 8 videos a day in me. I just couldn't do it. And, I'm not dissing JLR either. I think his heart, is in the right place. But I think a lot of people go a little too far with this for views. Like she said, I agree. But anyway, that is my review, my really quick review of this. I think Zara McDermott, thank you. You did a wonderful job on this. I really hope people go and watch the whole thing. It's very good. I only highlighted just a few little parts, okay? So go and give her some likes and views because she earned them. She really put out some good content on this video. So thank you so much for watching this review. You guys have a good day.